Hi, I'm Pat Baer. You may know me from such shows as Pat Baer's Anime Club, which is an ongoing video series where every other Monday I take a look at something from the world of anime that I want to chat with you about. It could be a deep dive into a subgenre or an explanation of a fun fact about anime that I just thought was neat to talk about, like the guy who ostensibly invented anime music videos and that sound effect that happens when something naughty is appearing in an anime. I made stuff like that. And I do try to keep it positive around here. I try to spread joy, talk about shows I really like. In a future video, I will be talking about some shows that I revisit quite often. But I got a bug in me that I really want to talk about some stuff. I want to get a little rude and a little mean. So let's talk about shows I hated but finished anyway. Now, important distinction. I am not talking about shows that I got kind of bored with or I liked but I didn't love. No, I'm not talking about something like Lazarus, which it was just on vibes, but the vibes are good. But like, I don't know. If I wasn't watching it every week, would I really have finished it? If it wasn't the director that I loved, would I really have? Well, no, I probably wouldn't have. But I didn't hate it while I was watching it. I'm of the opinion that if you don't like something, you don't owe it to yourself to continue it. You don't have to finish things. There are people out there that say, no, I finish everything. And it's like, well, life's short. And there's a lot of anime. I watch a lot of anime, and I haven't seen everything that I'd like to see. There's good stuff that I just, miss out on. Or there's stuff that's not for me. We talk about that a lot on these videos, that, there's things that I'm like, no, I know that that's just not for me. I'm not looking for that kind of thing. Like Till Your Eternity. I'm never going to watch that show. It seems to be great. I'm glad they keep making episodes for the people that want to watch it, but just making sure. Yeah, all right, good. But I don't want to watch it. So there you go. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the shows that, for whatever reason, I personally was like, no, I'm going to finish this. And there are good reasons for that. So we'll kind of get into it. I have 4 shows that we'll be talking about here. At least one of them I think I've talked about before, but in a different context. I think I talked about it of like a twist, like there was a twist in it, and I was like, oh, underwhelming twist, that kind of thing. But we'll still talk about it because I did finish it. Let's start with Helk. Now, some people might say, Pat, that show rules. And I agreed with you. The premise of Helk is the Demon King has been defeated, and there is a tournament to decide who's going to become the next Demon King. And the hero that defeated the Demon King shows up and is like, yeah, man, I hate humans now. I'd love to take over and, crush the human kingdoms. So I'm on board. I'm here to win the tournament. And like the people that don't, they're like, he's lying, something's up. Or the people that are just like, well, if he's strong enough to beat the Demon King, like, yeah, he can become the next Demon King. And it's like kind of a comedy and it's an action series. And I think it's fantastic. And then the rest of the show happens and it's a 2-core. And I wanted to see where it ended and where it went. I wanted to see if it was going to recapture what I liked about the series, which was those first few episodes. Now, of course, those first few episodes are maybe like the first arc of a manga, or maybe they're just a way to introduce the characters and then get to the thing that they really wanted to say with the show. And that's the problem that I had with it, is that I didn't care about why he was like walking away from humans, his personal history, what had happened that led to these events. And that's what the show is interested in. The show is interested in exploring all of those things. And I don't care about that. I liked the part where it was this kind of goofy guy who was in a tournament with demons and like kind of winning them over. And I thought that was an interesting premise that was done very well. And I didn't like where it was going. But I stuck with it because I was like, partially, I stuck with it because I thought it wasn't that bad a show. But also I stuck with it because I was like, well, maybe they can recapture it. And they don't recapture it because that was the hook to get you invested. And then they're going to tell you the real thing. It's not a bait and switch. But it isn't good. Yeah, it's not good, in my opinion. If you loved Helk, I'm glad you loved it. You got a lot of it, which is nice, but didn't do it for me. Let's talk about another show that, hey, none of these did it for me, but let's talk about this one here. Infinite Dendrogram is bad. It's a bad show. I watch a lot of bad anime, and but like I watch a lot of bad anime that's like fun to watch, like good trash. This is just boring trash. So there's a lot to unpack with this. Why did I even like this? Well, I kind of didn't know that I didn't love the subgenre that this is in, which is the VR MMO game genre, right? There are a bunch of them. Now, I hadn't had so much experience with it. You know, there's the Arc in Hunter x Hunter. There's like Hack and some of the trapped ones like Sword Art Online. You know, those kind of things where like, oh, I was playing a VR MMO and now I'm trapped in that and it's a death game. I already really don't like death game anime. But I didn't know that actually I don't enjoy, oh, this is a real life character or real life characters and they go into a VR world and the stakes, they'll find reasons for the stakes to matter. But do they? Nah, in my opinion, they don't. So I didn't know that I didn't love that. I didn't really love that kind of anime. Turns out the only time I really like that is when it is a delightful slice of life. Like Bofuri, that kind of thing. Where it's just like, oh, yeah, that's just cute and fun. So I'll give that a go. But in general, I don't really like that genre. So I started watching it because I like the idea of, oh, this is a special guy. He's got this, as you can see there, they're the characters, and then there are, the gentlemen there, and then there's some ladies around them. Those are AI companions in the game, artificial intelligence characters that are basically like pets, friends, companions, partners, and she's special. And he doesn't know why he ended up with her. And then they have a destiny. But that destiny is like, save the NPCs and the other characters in the game from invaders. Yeah. And you're like, Pat, why would you continue to watch this if you're feeling so like meh about it? Well, I was like, whatever. It was a weak season. I'll say that. It was a weak season. There wasn't a lot that I was really excited about. So I was watching it to talk about it on my model kit building streams, because that's where I talk about a lot of anime that I'm watching. So I was like, I'll keep up with it. And then there was a character. And I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I don't remember which one. I don't remember. Okay, we can't see the arrow here. I know it's not the middle guy. I don't know if it's the guy on the left or the guy on the right, but one of these guys, it is revealed that he is legitimately a child of a character that is Sherlock Holmes or an equivalent of Sherlock Holmes. And I was like, well, that's fucking incredibly weird. They must pay that off, right? And if they do, they don't do it in the anime. If they do it in the manga or they do it later, that's cool, but no, that was just like a weird thing for a character who's not a detective to just be the son of Sherlock Holmes. And I was like, what are we doing here? There are some battles that are kind of fun. It's a very mid show. And I grew to hate it because I was like, this is hurting me to watch, but we're almost at the end. And I was at that time, I wasn't really a person that just dropped stuff that late. I would drop things a couple episodes in, but I wouldn't often drop things this many episodes in. And I watched episode 12 and I was like, that's where they're leaving off on this big cliffhanger? No, there were 13 episodes of that show. If I had known it was 13 episodes, I probably would have dropped it at episode 6 or 7, but I didn't know that. And I wish I hadn't finished it. It's not a big regret of mine, but it is a regret. It's just not a good show. It's just not good. It's not the worst anime that's ever existed, but it's a very forgettable. So I don't have like, it's not disappointing that it ended kind of, but there is a show that I am deeply disappointed that I hate. And that's Aldona Zero. I grew to hate this fucking show, and I'm so mad about it. The first season, I stand by the first season being solid. It's a good show. I think the CG at the time was really good, the blend of CG and digital animation. I think it does hold up. I think the main character, while he doesn't have a lot going on, that's kind of the point. And so at least you can be interested in what he's doing. And the mech designs, I think, are solid, and it's good. The score is phenomenal. And then they made a second season. And it's bad. The second season's really bad. And I was like, well, maybe it'll turn it around. You know, a lot of times I think these shows maybe just needed less episodes, or needed more episodes to flush things out. I didn't necessarily think about the first one. Didn't need a second season. It didn't. Is the second season good? No. Is the second season, in my opinion, so bad that it makes the first season worse? Yeah, kind of. It doesn't take away from the action scenes, and in fact, from the first season. In fact, the second season has a few action scenes that are pretty okay. That are like, yeah, all right. Yeah, okay, well, they're trying something there. Like, they are trying something, so I'll give them that. But the plot is awful, and it does, unfortunately, make the whole product worse. And it's a real shame that it does that, because it could have been an all-timer, and maybe just being one season would have put it there as like one of those like hidden gems. But unfortunately, it's not a hidden gem. It's bad. Speaking of bad, that edit I just did is bad. I sneezed, so I ended the recording, and then I restarted the recording. And now we're here on the last anime I want to talk about. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is on me, okay? Yeah, Charlotte's awful. I mean, it's a bad show that I did finish. And there's no good reason. But let this be a cautionary tale for you. Maybe I should have done this first, because that would have been the most amount of people would have been able to watch it. But this is a cautionary tale. Don't let edited clips on YouTube convince you to restart a show that you didn't like. Okay? Sometimes somebody's TikTok, Instagram Reel, a YouTube short, a YouTube full-length video, a compilation of something, a clip you see on social media, you know, as you're scrolling, makes you go, oh, I kind of want to check out that anime. That sounds pretty neat. I think that's okay to be like, oh, that looked cool. That's a cool fight scene. I'm gonna look this up a little bit. I'm gonna see what it's ranked on. Various places. There's an article on Anime News Network that will, okay. Oh, I already subscribed to that service. Oh, okay, I'll just watch the first episode. Whatever. I think that's totally reasonable and cool. If you have already given up on a show, I don't care how good the video is that you watched, don't let that fool you. That happened to me. So Charlotte is about high school kids that have unusual powers. Our main kid was just like using some kind of hidden talent that he had to cheat, and he gets exposed by someone who then brings him into a club to kind of investigate students and help people out. And it's a whole thing. It's silly in a lot of places. It's very goofy, but there's some drama and there's some action, and it's just kind of there. And then at the end of the show, it gets bigger. The world around them, the very reason they have these abilities, kind of gets shined to light, and it becomes a much bigger story. And then our main guy becomes an overpowered main character and has a small little arc where it's so outside the scope and the realm of what's possible with this show, and just becomes really big and crazy. But clips of those last couple episodes are pretty awesome, because he's an overpowered main character that also might be losing his mind, might be losing his touch on reality, but also doesn't give a shit. So he just can be a cool badass. At a certain point, he can't even remember why he's driven to complete a task, but he is driven to complete said task, and he goes and does it with all these cool abilities he has. because there's a retcon or a reveal or a twist, whatever you want to call it, of his own abilities that he had in the beginning of the series. It wasn't actually that. He had something else. Okay. So I saw the clips of him being awesome, and I was like, well, I dropped this show because it was like not really worth my time. I was watching it as it aired, and then I was like, this isn't really that good. It's kind of funny, but I don't really like the supporting cast, and like, I don't know. I think I'm going to pass on this. Like, what are we going to do with this show? Where's it going to go? I'm all right. I have other things to do. So I didn't finish it. But then I saw some clips. I did this to myself on YouTube, and I was like, so he gets pretty fucking badass, huh? Okay, I'll watch it. It wasn't worth it. The twists, the bigger reveals, the expanding the changes that happen in it do not feel organic. They do not feel earned. They try to get around a thing. There is a thing that happens between characters that even they know sucks. And so one of the characters is just like, how did that happen? And another character is like, it just did. I don't know. And it's like, what? You can't, if you are going to make a stupid leap of logic, you can't justify that leap of logic by saying like, that's weird. Like, no, you don't get to do that. Make it better. It's not a good show. It's not enjoyable. I don't recommend it. If you are looking for something like, I don't even know, like, just watch the clips, right? If you see a cool show and you see some good clips on there and you've already dropped the show, just watch the clips. The clips are still going to be good. And I'll tell you, I have gone back to that compilation of that character being awesome. And I'm like, yeah, man, sure is fucking awesome. Cool. Great. That's all you need. I wish I hadn't watched that. And yeah, those are shows I hated but finished anyway. And look, again, my big point after this video here is just to encourage you, my friends, drop it if you don't like it. Don't, there are people out there say, oh no, I finish. Now, there is a thing. If a show is very popular and you don't see why people are liking it, and you want to finish it so that you have a place to come from when you talk shit about a show, like Yuri on Ice is a beloved series. I have a friend that finished Yuri on Ice because he was like, this is a mediocre sports show and it's only good because these characters are gay. And I was like, yes, that's not a problem. He goes, it is a problem. It's a bad show with good gay characters. I was like, no, it's a good queer show. I don't care if it's a bad sports anime. I don't give a shit about that. We don't have good queer anime right now. We have more now, but then we didn't. It's like, I don't care. I don't care if people don't go and watch another cool sports anime because this got them into sports anime. I want people to watch other queer anime because they watched Yuri on Ice, like that kind of a thing. If you are like, well, no, I want to have ammunition for why I continue to hate on a thing, go with God if that's how you need to be, if that's how you got to do it because something is popular and you want to see, if you want to try to see what other people see in it, or you're just like, I don't know, I need to know. I get it, right? I did not watch the last season of Attack on Titan, but I watched the last chunk of it. I watched the last 4 episodes of it. And I was like, fuck it. I want to see it. I want to see the thing. It was kind of wasting my time. But you do you. And I hope that part of you doing you is checking out another episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club. If you have any ideas for future videos, I'd love to hear it. I am in a period of actively looking for suggestions. In the summer, I know that I will be talking about my favorite shows of 2026 so far. I did that in 2024, and I like doing that. I didn't do it last year. I wish I had, but I will do it this year. I'm going to talk about the shows that I'm recommending in the next Pat Baer's Anime Club, and I am going to do a video, again, shows I want to revisit. And then in the future, I don't even think it's going to be this season, I am going to do another worst reveals and plot twists in anime. I think that would be good. to do another one of those. But I, this one was negative, and so I would like a chance to do more positive, like the shows I revisit. If you have any ideas, especially again positive, you want to see more weird premises for manga videos. I haven't done one of those in a while. There's still plenty more weird ones. Or I don't know. I don't know what else. What else could I do? Sometimes I think of, I thought of this one in just talking about this. So I was like, oh, I don't know. An idea might come to me like, yeah, I could do that. Like, like I don't know. I was hoping that literally I would give you an example by just kind of spitballing, and that didn't happen. The one thing I can think of is just like something on like some of my favorite original anime. Yeah, I could do that. Some of my favorite original anime, because a lot of stuff obviously based on video games is sometimes okay. Manga and light novels, obviously a lot of great stuff from that. But there's some great originals like Zenshu, one of my favorite anime of last year. So I could certainly talk about Zenshu in that list, even though I kind of talked about it a lot, and I've already talked about it at the end of last year. But whatever, I could include that. That could be on my list of favorite original anime. I don't know. Great, I have an idea for a video. I might do that next month. I might do that in 4 months. Who knows? I do know that's the end of this video, and I want to thank you for watching. Hit the like button, leave a comment, share this with a friend. If you love these kind of videos, please tell other people. It helps me continue to do this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.